basically enjoy yourselves, like what you do, but be passionate about it while you're doing it. Be focused and determined to complete something, achieve something, and enjoy that journey. I think that itself will take you a long way.
Bring out your story well, then that is a selling point. So
Yeah.
in fact, that interview is a selling point. So that's what he is bringing out. So sell yourself.
Okay, what do you have? What have you done? So yeah, I have a degree. Okay, good. So then, what have you done with that degree? So tell me about something. No, there's nothing to tell. I finished my degree. I passed. I got a first class or a second up or whatever, and here I am.
What do you want to do in life? That they don't say anything, that they are like absolutely kind of a loss. අද මං ඉන්නේ මගේ one of my oldest buddies. So I'm meeting one of my oldest buddies after a long time to a discussion like this. Paul Anthony Janmesh, but he is now a big shot. I want to tell before I tell that, I want you to tell what is the position that you hold right now.
So I work for Singer Sri Lanka, and I'm the marketing director or director marketing there.
මචං දැන් මම මචං කියන්නද මචං එහෙම නැත්නම් ඩිරෙක්ටර් මාකටිං
කැමති
කියන්නේ
විදියකට කියන්න කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ.
අද කතාව මචං දැන් that I have a lot of kids who would like to come into corporate sector.
Okay.
So but they don't have any idea where to start and what to do. And you have come long way, and I think so. There's a long way.
Couple of decades.
And a long way to go
You're
as well.
revealing our age also, no?
Where to start මචං? කොතනින්ද අපි පටන් ගන්නවා?
Good question. Okay, so ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් ළමයින්ට තියෙන ලොකුම challenge එක ඇවිල්ලා මේ if you look at it, one of the biggest issues is what do I do after A levels? So I also went through that same challenge. I also didn't have a big understanding of the corporate sector, didn't have too many people to guide me also. So but then I felt a little lost at that time. So one of the biggest challenges most students face is what do I do after A levels? What should I focus on from there onwards? What path should I take? And even the corporate world is a big world. What specific function should I take? So these are some challenges that everyone faces. So I'll give you an example of how my decision making led to where I am today at that time. So what I did was basically I looked back at everything that I had done in school. I looked at all the sports, the extracurricular activities, the co-curricular activities, which is the clubs and societies that you do work for, and all of that. I just reanalyzed and said, looked at it and tried to understand what my strengths and what my weaknesses were. So, and then at that point, I felt like, okay, yes, management seems like an area that I can go into, specifically business management. Even though I did my A levels in biology and I did chemistry, physics, and biology for my A levels, but then I couldn't get into university, obviously, because I wasn't focusing on my education at that time, but I had a lot of other things going for me. So I looked at all of that and I felt like, I have a lot of strengths which can work very well in management and business management, and I had a lot of leadership skills also that I had demonstrated back in school. So I thought this would be a nice route to take. So I joined a private university and followed a degree in business management. At the same time, back in the day when I was doing that degree, IT was becoming very popular. So I actually started an IT degree also at the same time through local university again, external degree. And I was doing both degrees simultaneously. So I completed 2 years of an IT degree and 2 years of a business management degree. And then when it came to the third year, I felt like, it was too difficult to manage both degrees. So I actually gave up IT. And I felt business was a little more interesting for me, and I liked the whole learning curve of business management and marketing and human resources and sustainability and corporate sustainability, and that those topics actually inspired me quite a bit. So I felt like, so I should focus on that.
If I stop there, now you did bio for A levels.
Yes.
If you can go back in time, would you change that decision back then in the school days that you would choose commerce subjects, or you would still do bio?
No, I would still do bio because, see, the thing is, what I learned in chemistry, physics, and biology actually became life skills later on. And every little thing that you learn there could be applied to your work. Because even in marketing or HR or whatever profession that you take, you will still work for a business which either manufactures something or produces something, or it's a service, whichever it is. All the skills that you learn there will definitely come in handy. And for me specifically, because being in FMCG for a long time or majority of my career, it really helped because that knowledge and that understanding of product development, all of that had a lot of correlation with my early education. So it really
And
did help.
I know since that I know you personally. You did a lot of drama at school, and so that he's a drama king. Now he with the
Well behaved.
busy schedule,
No, no
I
more
don't think that
drama
he
in
no
my
more
life.
drama, no
No
more
more
drama.
drama in my life now.
Anyway, that after marriage there's no more drama.
Yeah, sure, true.
So how did that help in your career much?
So actually, I would, if I were to just go back in time, I would say that that was one of the most interesting and the best decision that I probably made in my entire life by joining theater in school. So that really helped me a lot from, my entire personality development, stage fright, to being able to communicate effectively, and also, I mean, the learning of working with a very tightly bonded team and motivating each other, holding each other up whenever things were not working out, improvising when times weren't good, because in theater sometimes when you forget your lines, show must go on, right? So you need to be able to improvise. So those skills really helped me in my corporate life later on. So I did learn quite a lot in theater, and I felt that that was something that was like one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life so far. So yeah,
So we actually meet at Unilever.
yeah.
We both were brand managers at that time.
Yes.
So at that time also, Machang, that you did a lot of extracurricular. That in I was also into
Yeah.
slim,
Yeah.
and you were also into slim. So
Yes.
that the students probably now think that being studious is the only way to go about. So what you can tell about it?
Uh, Good question, but to be honest, I was never studious, even though I'm wearing spectacles now. That was probably because I played excessive video games back in the day, so that's why my eyesight has gone bad now. But then, to be honest, I think education is very important and you need to study, and because there are fundamentals that you need to learn if you are in a corporate career or business career or any profession that you choose. You need to understand the fundamentals. So therefore, I would still stress upon the fact that education is very important, but it's not the be all and end all. It's not the be all and end all. You need to have other skills. You need to be able to appreciate other things in life, like, for example, organizing events and organizing projects or leading projects or demonstrating your other skills in leadership or in putting things together, being creative and doing something exciting, which is other than your work. So when you do that, you develop a lot of skills which can really help you in your work, because your work also is fun. I believe so, and we did have
Yeah.
a good time back in the
Yeah.
day doing work. We worked late hours,
Yeah.
long hours, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It didn't make sense, but then we just continued to work, but we still enjoyed, right? Because we made work fun. And at office also, we organized so many other fun events just to make work fun also, which was part of the job as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it helped our work, but also uplifted ourselves also and made life fun during that time.
Actually, that our friends were all
Yeah.
work-related friends, and he actually got married to one of them.
Yeah, true, true, true. That happened too.
That happened too, because that we didn't have any other life other
Another
than that.
life than that.
Other than
Yeah,
that.
true, true.
Building on that, now when you interview a lot of kids Now you are the marketing director of a very reputed company. And Mashang, shall we quickly give your pathway for people to know that how you came about from before Unilever days, then the Unilever days after that, that you went into CBL, and
Sure.
if you run through that before I go for that question, I think
Sure,
that will
sure,
be
sure.
good for
So
the
I'll
viewers.
briefly take you through my career. So, like I said, going back to the previous conversation, I wasn't sure of what I needed to do, but I decided to go down the management route. And even in management, in my final year, my degree, the research that I had to do, I chose a HR topic. And I got a first class in for the project, but the research project, but then it was in HR. And
Just to hold on that, he is now married to one of the top most HR professionals. Probably that is the time that you got that nerve.
probably. So then I thought HR was an interesting area and I should go down that road. Then after I finished my degree, I was looking for jobs, and timing was also a little here and there because I missed a few key management trainee programs in some of the big companies. So I couldn't apply because my completion time versus the degree programs or the management trainee program recruitment timing didn't work out. So I had to find another job outside that cycle. So I was looking for a job and I came across about three jobs at the same time. I got three offers. I don't want to name the companies, but then for good reasons. But I chose a company which is still very dear to me, which is Janashakti Insurance. Now it's Janashakti Group, JXG. So I was recruited as a brand executive at that time, and that changed my life, to be honest. That really changed my life. So, and that's where I really learned marketing. Even though my fundamentals were there in my degree, my passion for marketing and what marketing was all about, that foundation was there at Janashakti, and I really started liking marketing as a profession. And then from there, after about a couple of years or 1.5 years, I got an opportunity at Unilever, and I joined Unilever as a assistant brand manager, and then spent about 12 years at Unilever, and was lucky enough to actually work on a lot of global brands, and got an opportunity to work overseas as well, and came back, and then again was with Unilever for about another 2 years after I came back from my international assignment, and then I decided to move out because I had no further interest in moving out of the country, and I wanted to do something different and challenge myself a little bit more in a bigger role. So I got an opportunity at CBL, that's to handle Munchie. So I was general manager of marketing at CBL, and I did about 4 years, almost 4 years and 8 months to be exact. And then came this opportunity at Singer, and I took this opportunity because my passion for marketing remained, whereas I was to go into sales at CBL, and that was my next role. And I was looking forward to it actually, but then
You
this,
told me once.
yeah, and this role came, and the young brand manager in me kicked in, and then I wanted to pursue further in marketing. So I believe here I am. So that's
Yeah.
that's
So
that's what happened. Yeah.
now it is director marketing. So that
Yeah.
so one of the pinnacle jobs.
Yeah.
And now the one thing that I want to reiterate is that the මේක බලන් ඉන්න ගොඩක් අයට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් දැන් මගේ ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් ලා ගොඩක් අර ජම්ම කිව්වා වගේ මේ they don't have they have not figured out.
Yeah.
So thereby that's okay. That's absolutely okay. So at your age, that if you have not figured out,
That's completely fine.
that's nothing to worry. That we also were like that.
Yeah.
So that in the way only that we actually figured out.
Yeah, true.
Even I can remember that when we were in Unilever, that
Yeah.
we have not figured out.
We didn't figure it out. We didn't
figured
figure it out, yeah.
So we were just wondering,
Wondering what to
next,
do.
What to
What's
do?
next?
What's next? So that
So
that's
Kasun, just to interrupt you, I think that happens at different stages in life for everyone. So one is at the beginning of your career or just before you start your career, and soon after A levels, soon after O levels. Then there is a midway in your career, and then even once you've reached a certain level, you still have that question mark as to, okay, so what do I do next? Where do I go from here? How do I get there? Do I really want to get there? So all those questions come, and you sometimes always rethink, saying, am I doing what I like? Is it something that I can do and enjoy, continue to do? So those questions will always come at different stages of your life. So the advice to the students is, don't get worried, don't get too carried away, and don't worry about it, because it's quite normal. It's just that you have to make a right decision which is close to your heart at that time, and follow that decision and stick to it. As long as you follow through with that decision and don't look back, I think you can make it. And
Yeah, Jama, very, very, very good point. Because more than the students, actually, a lot of parents who come to meet me,
Yeah.
they are very worried that their kids are not figuring out what they want, and when they are asked, what do you want to do in life, that they don't say anything, that they are like absolutely kind of a lost. So thereby, actually, a lot of parents are also worried. So if you can tell something to the parents also, that would help more than the kids. Actually, now parents are more worried.
No, which is also fair, because I mean, you want your kids to do well, and you want your children to progress and have a good life and career. So it's important that they settle in and start something soon. So I can empathize with a lot of parents. But the question there is, at the end of the day, as parents, you need to give some space to your children also to figure themselves out, because versus our generation to this generation, they're very different in terms of their personalities. They are digital natives, they've grown up with all devices, and there's ample knowledge freely available at their fingertips on demand now. So they are exploring a lot of things, and they know that there is no one straight path to go, and there are multiple ways to get to where they want to get to. So my advice to parents is, just be a little patient, but always guide them, help them, support them in every decision that they make, and make sure that they're disciplined in what they like to do. So those little values that you can give at home will go a long way in their lives. But don't put unnecessary pressure, because children are also trying to figure themselves out. And today, with all that information overload, they are struggling to figure themselves out also. So that you need to give them some space and let them understand. But I'm sure, I mean, at a certain age, everything will kick in, and they will want to do certain things and pursue their passions. And I see that in the new generation a lot more than our generation, where they want to pursue things that they like to do, and they want to follow through with it, even though they sometimes know that there is no long-term career that you can build on that path, but they still want to do that, which is, I think, not wrong, because the opportunities are endless today. So I think parents should be able to understand that and support their children, but of course give them the right facility, the education, the nurturing that needs to be given at home, and not look at them as impossible kids, or not serious about what they do, because that pressure alone again will make them make bad decisions sometimes. So being supportive is very important, I guess.
I want to take a different route now. I want you to take your director hat and put it on. And when you look at a CV, because this is very important for kids to understand, when you look at a CV, what is the first thing that you look at?
I actually look at education, to be honest. First thing I look at is education, and I'll tell you why also. So if you have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or some form of professional qualification, that says something. It's not about the knowledge that you gain, it's about the discipline that you gain, and the discipline that you have to complete something in a stipulated time period. So you've made an effort, worked hard, been disciplined enough day in, day out to turn up at university or wherever to get through a program, and you complete that. And that shows they are determined, you have the discipline, and also you have acquired some form of knowledge and certain other skills also in the process. So that's why I believe the first thing that I look at is education. But that's not the only thing that makes the decision for me. For me, education is like just a tick box. Yes, he has done that. So therefore, if I recruit him, he will do that at work. Also, he or she will continue to do that at work as well. So that's there. Then the next one is in terms of their other qualifications and other extracurricular activities and any sports or any other clubs and societies that they've done some work in, or any other extracurricular activities. And why that's important is because then if you have done those things, you know that they are able to work in teams, they are able to lead, they are able to do things on their own without any support or guidance. They've been able to organize things. So that's another strong skill and an important skill in the corporate world. So I look for those two predominantly, and then based on that, I make a decision to have a chat.
Okay, so I want to reiterate these two first, because that before going to the next question, one thing is that one of the things that is lacking for I have seen a lot of kids, they start things but they don't finish. Fine, that I have seen many times. So thereby, director marketing singer Sri Lanka is actually reiterating for you to, if you start something, you have to finish it. So that is what he talked about, the degree, because that you have to have some kind of a perseverance and the commitment to do that.
Yeah.
So that is very important when it comes to the corporate sector.
Yes.
Fine. Number two is, yes, you can be very good at education, but at the same time you have to be a team player, and you should be able to work with people, and you have to have that spirit.
Yes.
And sometimes that when you are really good in grades, you think that you are a poorer. So that when you become the poorer, that in a corporate sector, in fact, that might not be the right way, because that you have to work with, however how much genius you are, you have to work with the others. So thereby, it is very important that you do your extracurriculars and understand your soft skills and how to work with people. So those are the two things that
Just to add one point to that, Kasun. So the main reason as to why I said the second point is because when you get into a business environment, you can't do anything alone.
exactly.
Education you can do by yourself. You don't need a group to teach you or anything. You can study by yourself, and that self-learning really goes a long way, to be honest. But then in a corporate environment, you can't get anything done. I mean, especially as marketers and brand managers, I mean, we knew that how many people and how many cross-functional teams that you need to depend on to get things done for your brand, to make sure that your products are sold, your products are displayed, your products are manufactured, your P&L is managed properly, and then your fundamentals of communication is given, and all those things with the agencies, all that. So many people to work with, right? So if you don't have people skills, and if you don't have leadership skills to be able to lead all of them, who may or may not directly report to you, and still get things done in a corporate environment, it's not easy. So you need to have that team building skills and also leadership skills to be able to lead something in your, especially in marketing, because every marketer, when you take on a brand or a product or a service or whichever it can be, you're the champion of that, and you're a general manager of that. So you need to be able to manage everything around that. So that takes a lot of leadership, right? So that leadership is very important.
It's very, very important thing that I want to reiterate again and again and again. You might be really good at what you are doing, but if you can't manage the team, you can't get things done.
You can't.
You are absolutely helpless, and we have actually experienced that so many times in corporate sector.
And it's not easy also. Like you come with different types of people. You have to work with different age groups. You might be the youngest in the team that you are leading. So these are not easy tasks sometimes.
So I mean, school actually helps. That
absolutely.
So I mean, if you have not done anything in school, but even after school, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of the Rotary Club, the Interact Club, and so many the drama and the speech clubs, and everything is there. So that even in university, that you can actually do all of them. And coming into one very important question. What are the do's and what are the don'ts in an interview? Because that you sit for many interviews,
Yeah.
and you have come long way in the in your corporate career, and thereby you have sat for many interviews. So people, the students who are actually watching, that university students and the A-level students and after A-level students who are trying to enter into the university, for all of them, what are the basic do's and don'ts when they come into a interview?
Yeah, the first one is, I think, listen. First, understand the questions that are thrown at you. So, have patience and listen. And then, once you understand the question, try and articulate that question or answer that question with a structured answer. So, one is you must directly answer that question, and then you must give an example as to how you have demonstrated that in your career, be it at school, university, wherever, and then give a conclusion in terms of why you did that or how you did that. So, for me, I think the biggest thing about an interview and facing an interview is the storytelling part. And you need to have stories to tell. If you don't have stories to tell, sometimes, I interview young children who, not children, but then young adults, they don't have stories to tell. When you ask them, okay, so tell me about yourself, they go back and say, I'm an only child, my mother was this, my father was this, my sister is this, and so on. Yes, you need to give a bit of a family background. But beyond that, okay, what have you done? So, yeah, I have a degree. Okay, good. So then, what have you done with that degree? So tell me about something. No, there's nothing to tell. I finished my degree. I passed. I got a first class or a second up or whatever, and here I am. So take me now. So then, so how do you actually have a conversation with that person, right? Because you don't have anything extra to talk about, and so that sometimes is a bit of a challenge for the interviewer also, because you want to understand who this person is that I'm going to recruit or we are going to take on board in our organization, and you can't really get anything out of them in terms of what type of personality they are or what their interests and likes and dislikes are. So for that, you need to be able to tell stories, and that comes to our previous point again, as to do a lot of things, explore, have other things going for you other than just your education, so that you will have those stories to tell. And then you can say, I was leading the management club or commerce club or whatever at the university, and I organized student days, and then I did this, and we raised 2 million rupees as a funding, and then with that funding we went and did some charity. And how this is how we went about it. We didn't have money, we were desperate, so we went and reached out to big corporates through our contacts, and we walked into a lot of officers and we got sponsorships, we raised money. That wasn't enough, then you went and you sold tickets at the entrance, and then you made money, and so on. So that tells you something, right? So that this child is, or this young adult is determined to do something and make it. So that's very important. And when you don't have such stories to tell, sometimes you're fresh out of university, you have no demonstrated work experience, you're just being hired for your potential and not for anything else. So how do you read your potential? Just by having a degree, you can't read someone's potential, because everyone can have a degree today. So you have to stand out. You have to be able to demonstrate who you are and what type of person you are and what skills and competencies that you have. And that gives the recruiter or the interviewer confidence that this individual will be a good fit to our organization, and they will be able to fit into this role. So yeah, we can give this take this individual into our organization. So that's important. So I believe those are a few things that I would reiterate.
Just to reiterate again, because that I want to reiterate again and again, because that this is the totally to the students, that sometimes interviewing process. Right. So, and when you are sitting for an interview, and it can be a very intimidating experience that we have actually gone through that.
Yeah.
And as the interviewers as well as the the VVs. So then for you it can be very intimidating. So the බහින බය වෙලා යන්නේ. පට්ට බය වෙලා යන්නේ. අපිත් එහෙම ගිහලා තියෙනවා. අපි අනිත් පැත්තෙත් අපි අනිත් පැත්තේ සමහරවිට බය වෙලා ඉන්ටර්වියු කරපු ඒවා තියෙන අපි මුල් කාලේ කරනකොට අපි කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි එතනදී that what Janmesh actually pointed out, it's a very very important thing. It is a conversation, so thereby build up a conversation.
Yeah.
So then through that conversation, that if you can actually bring out your story well, then that is a selling point. So
Yeah.
in fact that interview is a selling point. So that's what he is bringing out. So sell yourself. So if you are not,
and also actually some of these age-old questions of tell me about yourself is actually an icebreaker question in most interviews. But even though sometimes it is the most difficult question to answer sometimes, but then it is actually made for an icebreaker so that the interviewer is making the interviewee at ease, so that they can just talk about something which is very they are comfortable with and very easy, which is how was your day, how was your journey here to get
To
to,
make-
to
make
today.
it comfortable.
Make it conversational. So that's where they ask you the question, so tell me about yourself, which is the easiest thing to do, right? Who you are. But sometimes if you don't understand who you are, that's going to be the most difficult question to answer. So you do get into pressure, but then the question is made to put you at ease, and that's why most people start with that question.
One final question.
Yeah.
So if there is something that you were to sum up that for the kids and the parents, so one piece of advice, one last piece of advice, what it could be, Mashang, that you can give?
Yeah,
to
so I'll give two things.
Yeah,
one for the parents and one for the students, kids. So I think if you look at the kids first, my answer is, have fun. Basically, enjoy yourselves. Like what you do, but be passionate about it while you're doing it. Be focused and determined to complete something, achieve something, and enjoy that journey. I think that itself will take you a long way. And it may sound like a simple, fun advice, but there's a lot in it if you really go through it, because if you're passionate about something, you will like what you do, and then you will never have to work a single day in your life, and it's not something that will be something that's forced upon you. So you will enjoy it throughout your life. So that's the single advice that I would like to give the kids. The parents, I would like to tell them to be patient and support them and give them that required love and nurturing that you have at home. And don't put additional pressure on your children, because they are already pressurized by society at large. So don't give them additional pressure at home also, but support them, and I will promise you that you will see a big difference. And but also make sure that you educate them with the right values at home, so that they carry on and become great human beings in their lives. So that's the advice that I would like to give the parents.
I think it is invaluable and spot on. Thank you very much for making time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No, it's always pleasure to have the Janma back again, so that the memories run down
Yeah,
to
true.
long years back. And thank you very much, Janma,
most
and thank you for your time. And see you next time
Thank
with
you.
another episode like this.